Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. Joseph Parker's trainer Kevin Barry, he's given some insight into how his fighter Joseph Parker is tracking just weeks out from his heavyweight unification bout with Anthony Joshua on March 31st in Cardiff. So Barry, he went live on his Facebook account this week as part of a session that took a number of questions from about 60 people who were watching, of which I was one. So apart from answering an overabundance of questions about what sort of seafood that Joseph Parker likes, yes, really that was a topic of much discussion, Barry also touched on sparring, Parker's projected weight, his current weight, and more of what Parker needs to do in the ring. In terms of sparring, Barry, he definitely deflected naming who Parker is getting sparring work from. We do know that he is sparring Tony Yoka, but there are others. But he did say he is limiting the New Zealanders' sparring sessions to just 2 a week. And the reason that he gave for that is because how tough those sessions are. He noted it's a delicate balance because of just how much sparring can take out of a fighter. Now, something I've been wondering actually after rewatching a lot of Joseph Parker's earlier fights is, are we going to see more of the uppercut? So that's historically been a pretty decent punch for Parker, and not one that he's really thrown much of late. But here's a little montage to remember how useful it has been in the past. So Kevin Barry's response to my question on the uppercut, will we see it more, was yes, we will see uppercuts. But he did actually go a lot further. He said, to win this fight against Anthony Joshua, Joseph Parker needs to throw more of everything. I couldn't agree with that more. Activity will be key. Joseph Parker can't hope to win if he doesn't push the action at points in the fight. He can't stand back at the end of Joshua's jab and hope to have much success. Otherwise, what we'll see is a repeat of what Lennox Lewis did to David Tuitt back in 2000, another Kevin Barry trained fighter. And I'm sure Barry well remembers that night, when the bigger man used all of his skills basically to keep the fight at range and prevent Tuitt getting off his best work. He didn't really land anything of note, and we were expecting something, but it never came. I mean, just what tactics Joseph Parker ultimately employs, we'll have to wait and see on the night. But it's clear he's going to have to get into some exchanges with Joshua. He'll have to close the distance to get away his best work, and he's going to have to maintain a decent punch output. If he can't, Joshua could well race away on the cards and leave Parker looking for a knockout, even from the mid-rounds. So a good start, a fast start from Parker is something that I'm sure they are going to be looking for. He needs to start well. Questions also came into Barry from myself and others about Parker's weight, the projected weight and his current weight in camp. And Barry, he reiterated his goal is to get Parker down to the high 230s. So he's looking at 108 kilograms on the night. So that's 238 pounds. And when he was pressed on how much Parker is weighing right now, Barry said he's in the mid 240s. So roughly 6 to 8 pounds away from his target weight 4 weeks out. I want to touch on that point specifically for a minute. You may recall that for Parker's last outing against Hughie Fury, he had to lose roughly 10 kilograms in training camp, so that's just over 20 pounds. He weighed in for that fight against Fury 246 pounds. So with 4 weeks to go, he's already at that weight, give or take a pound. So it's clear Parker is on track to come in lighter than he did for his last outing. And they've stated that they want him to come in lighter. And the reasons that they've given to weigh in less is basically to improve his movement, his speed in general, and with the speed, so it's hands, feet, and general mobility. And with all that in mind, I thought, let's just do a bit of a comparison actually from the last training camp to this one. So here's 2 clips from July and August. Now here's two brief clips from February. I'm not sure if it's just me, but I do actually think Parker is looking quicker, especially in that last clip. I guess the caveat is, it's a pretty small sample size of video to make an assessment on. But clearly from what Kevin Barry is saying, he's pretty happy with how things are going. And before I get to some further comments about how training camp is going in general, because Barry's made some comments to New Zealand media, I'll just finish off or recap some of the live stream. So Barry, he was also asked about Anthony Joshua's biggest weakness. So he responded, he's a little robotic. And that's something Barry, he's been saying for some time. So he's been pretty consistent with his thoughts there. And in case you're wondering, on the seafood front, of which there were many questions, Kevin Barry confirmed, yes, Joseph Parker, he does like oysters. And Parker himself, he wandered into the video near the end saying that he loves raw salmon. And his favourite way of eating it is, or eating raw fish in general, is sashimi style. Okay, so getting back to business though. Kevin Barry, he's told New Zealand media, stuff.co.nz, training camp is going well. He's quoted as saying, Joe has been very disciplined and on point. His body looks really good. He's in much better shape already than he was for the Huey Fury fight. He's going to look even better when he gets on the scales for the weigh-in, and I think he will be ready for a career-defining performance in his biggest ever challenge. There's a lot more firepower coming out of him for this fight. I need a lot of movement and I need a lot of punches off Joe, and his fitness levels need to be a lot greater than his last fight because the challenge is so much bigger. Joe has adopted our game plan very well and he's showing it to me in sparring. I think the last couple of sparring sessions have been our best for some time, so it's all coming together nicely. And of Parker's sparring partners, we do know that one is Tony Yoka. So of the sparring partners, Barry said, they are doing the Anthony Joshua thing as well as they can. They are throwing the combinations I need them to throw. Combinations I have identified as the strengths of Joshua. It might be fair to say there's only one Anthony Joshua out there, but as far as hand speed is concerned, I'd say there is only one Joseph Parker out there as well. So I think both guys have got challenges to replicate things in sparring. We both believe this is the right time to fight Anthony Joshua. If we don't get the result we think we are going to get, it's because we are simply not good enough. There's no other reason. If we don't beat him, it's because he is the better fighter. But we are both very confident. We like where we are at. We are excited by the magnitude of this challenge. I've said all along, the bigger the challenge will bring the best out of Joseph. And also, just in terms of camp itself and the specific methods being employed, Barry told the website that they hadn't tried to reinvent their program given it had worked so well over a 5-year unbeaten run. But they have tweaked a few things. So there's extra yoga, more pad work, a new strength and conditioning coach, and a new massage therapist. And in case you're wondering, Barry did also update the website that Joseph Parker has not eaten a pie in over 5 weeks. I'll leave it there. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.